Welcome to the new CTO Larsson office.
The Bitcoin chart is actually not a great look here. This minor support at 67,225 that held 8 times on 8 separate days eventually broke, and as you can see here, now perfectly turned into resistance. See, these 2 wicks turned exactly there. Not great. Also, yields are reclaiming support. If yields start going up again, not so positive for Bitcoin. There's only one light in the tunnel.
It's still gold.
Exactly. Larsson line is still gold. The true underlying trend has remained the most useful tool in tech trading for all these years, in my opinion. That's not a groundbreaking idea. Trend is your friend until the end when it bends. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna sit on the freaking savannah. I'll also be going back and forth between my old and new country this summer. Trend. The thing is that trends are even more sticky in technology, not only in Bitcoin, than in other types of assets. Another main tool in our toolbox, support and resistance, are highly useful for 2 reasons. 1. If you're trying to enter a leverage long or short, for example here, you could do it perfectly 8 times. Only 1 time got stopped out, and you could get a perfect short entry at least 10 times here at resistance. Not stopped out a single time. But the other reason that support and resistance are useful is to try to understand the overall market structure. Now, with breaking down through this support and seemingly turning it into resistance, the signals of horizontal support and resistance and the trend are more in conflict than they were last week. That means that the risk has gone up, but it's also not full out bearish. Anyone who tells you that they can predict what the market will do next are either ignorant or straight up lying. This is a pretty uncertain situation now, and it's better to operate in a mode that if this happens, then I will do X. If that happens, then I will do Y. And here is my plan exactly. The overall range between the major resistance and the major support is a pretty tight, well-contained range. There is no need to speculate on the breakout direction. If this support breaks, and maybe we even get lower lows, with Larsson line turning blue, okay, then I'll be completely out of the market until that situation reverses. If on the other hand we break through this resistance with Larsson line gold, I'll increase my exposure to Bitcoin, potentially by a lot. Now let's look at some altcoins. Ethereum is actually a very simple case. It's been in this range for the longest time, faked out twice on the upside and once on the downside. A tricksy little coin.
Tricksy. False. No.
But despite these constant fakeouts, if resistance breaks, and perhaps we want a little bit more margin next time with Larsson line gold, okay, I'm interested. Now to Solana, and let's apply what you learned about support and resistance. Friends of the channel will recall that I've talked about this support level at 0.002 for the longest time. This level didn't come this year. It was established already in 2022 on the way down, first as support, then as resistance. Now it has held quite a few times, and now today touched down there again and bounced. Here we are in an even more dangerous situation than with Bitcoin, because Larsson line is actually blue on Sol to BTC. So a breakdown of this super key support with the trend down would be a very bearish event in the Sol to BTC chart. The altcoin to USD charts always get more blurry because of the BTC price movements, but we can perhaps make out a similar situation with the previous support here turning into resistance, but could be a coincidence. The chart to follow here is this chart. And if this breaks now, then better hold on to your parachutes, guys. The next chart I want to draw your attention to is the Sol to ETH chart, because here something has changed. For 1 year, from mid-2023, Sol has been in the lead. Larsson line gold for the Sol to ETH ratio. Then the parabola stopped, price formed a range, and if we zoom in, now this isn't an exact science, but this range definitely threatens to break down with Larsson line blue. The Ethereum ETF is coming, and perhaps ETH, which seems so knocked down and irrelevant. Who knows? Perhaps it comes back, let's see. So this is definitely a chart to follow, because even with, for example, Ton coming strong and Base like almost a separate ecosystem, I'd still say that the main two contenders for the leading smart contract platform right now still remains Ethereum and Solana. Ethereum with its massive leadership in TVL, and Solana with its leadership in usage, with meme coins and other activity. Speaking of which, today's rumor is that Trump is launching a meme coin on Solana. No idea if it's true, but what I can say with certainty is that a lot of people will get scammed today, regardless, because there's now so many projects called DJT. Look here, all of these are scams. They're not the same project, almost never ends. And here's another completely independent project on Ethereum, also called DJT. The one people were speculating about is this one, and if it is, this smart contract isn't great, with features for minting new coins at will. So whatever you decide to do with this rumor, at least don't buy the wrong coin. The clearest chart of the top 3 altcoins is the BNB chart. See how perfectly this support turned into resistance, and then it broke out, turned into a range, which is called a flag after a major move up, broke out, came back into the range, broke out again, and now looks like it's retesting the upper boundary of that range. Still looks good, Larsson line still gold. On the BNB to USD chart, this looks a little bit more confusing here, which is why I prefer the BTC chart. Still, if you want to simplify your life, you just note that we had a Larsson line gold flip at $238 something, and now it's plus 150%, so 2.5x, with very little risk taken, because after the Larsson line gold flip, see how price bounced at this support without breaking it. So if you had a stop loss below that support, it never hit. Beautiful. And I hope you see the usefulness of support and resistance. Before we look at stocks, I was not kidding when I said that I'm closing my Swedish company, guys. Just to make that super clear. That was not a joke. After June 25th, you cannot buy anything from me. Shop closed. That's in 7 days. Whenever I sell something here, even the stuff that I've invented myself, programmed myself on my own YouTube channel, there's always people that get angry. But I'm telling you, people will be a lot angrier when I'm not selling anything. I literally cannot take your money after this date because I won't have a company until I've completed my move and set up a new company in my new country. So if you are planning to take my course or get on pro, you have to do it now. The correct entries have long passed in most of the major tech stocks. The last gold flip on Apple was here. It's almost 10x ago. Last gold flip in Google was down here. Microsoft, it was here. If you didn't have the tools then, don't kick yourself for it. Just try to get better going forward. And also, don't chase after entries long past. Statistically, that's not a great strategy. So if you didn't take the Nvda entry, the last one here, after this perfect inverse head and shoulders pattern and the Larsson line gold flip back in March 2023 when price was like 23 on adjusted prices. Don't chase after it 1+ year later. Buy it at 130. Massively risky. Where would you put the stop in this setup? And that's just the last entry. If you have a 10-year perspective, this stock is up 40,000%. That's 400x. But we can't travel back in time. Instead, try to do 2 things. Number 1, get better. Number 2, look for the next entry instead. Don't chase. But I hope you agree with me that tech stocks are not boring. That's why I added it to pro. One opportunity from a TA perspective could be Amazon. I followed this for some weeks now to see if this resistance breaks out with Larsson line gold. It hasn't yet, so if it does, that opportunity is still ahead of us. At least it's one thing to monitor. Another one is Tesla, that has had a very bad price action since late 2021. I've not been a fan of the Tesla chart over this period, and I warned that this was kind of a head and shoulder-ish pattern that broke down here in the autumn 2022 already. And then this horizontal support also broke and Larsson line turned blue, which was the first time since we identified this entry at support at $12 equivalent adjusted for splits. And since this triple of very bearish developments, price hasn't really recovered. Trend flippity-flopped a little bit here, but not much changed. And the trend is still down today. And I do think that Tesla could be underestimating the competition for the physical cars. I know that's not a popular statement, but I know very well that building physical products in competition with Chinese competitors is difficult, even for the best. So if that was their only business, I would not even be interested in tracking this at this point. That was different in 2019, when it was a game of disruption, a game of innovation. Now it's a game of copying each other and trying to build a reasonably good product at a low price. I'm only interested here because of the other business models, like automated fleets, AI and robots, which I imagine will be a lot about the quality and safety of the AI, where Tesla could have an advantage back to the innovation stage. The trend is still down and the chart hasn't really recovered yet. But there is something happening here. There is an element of support developing in the chart, and price, when it broke down, immediately came back up, like a slow wick. And since then that price is holding here. Tested it again last week, held. Or if we want to play it safer, we could wait until support definitely holds and the trend turns back up. If Tesla will ever become a top 3 tech company by market cap, growing to these market caps of 3 trillion from current 600 billion. It won't do so with the trend down, so no need to stress about that. That can't happen mathematically. Don't get scammed, guys. I have only one website, it's ctolarsson.com. Thank you, tack. CTO Larsson out.
Maybe I say remind me why we left Sweden again.